So Robert, first of all, we thank you for joining us today. We know you're busy.
Pleasure, Darcy, to be here at 95.9.
All right. Let's start off with what everybody says the biggest issue in this election is jobs. We know in the Miramichi you have an unemployment rate over 10%.
Exactly.
What's the plan to rectify this situation?
Our plan, and very, very clear, is resource development. And shale gas is the major component of that part of it. It also includes mining, of course, forestry, and our pipeline projects. They're very key. But I'm going to tell you, I'm being right up front with folks. On this river, the folks want the same thing. We all want the same thing. Get our young folks home working in this province. And shale gas is our big, big development possibility to have that happen very, very soon.
In terms of the Miramichi, because we know that the actual drilling for shale gas will take place in parts of Kent County, upper Miramichi, that kind of stuff. The city of Miramichi itself, how does it benefit? Right
off the bat, we are perfect geographically location to what we're hearing is the major find in this province, in the Rexton area, that we are a center that would be a perfect fit for distribution parts of that industry. You know, the availability and the organizations that we have here in our industrial park right now for modular fabrication, I'm going to start advertising here, Sunny Corner Mechanical, Shad County Industries. We have the capability here to be the major supplier to distribution products that industry needs.
I should mention to the pipeline, we've talked about a lot of local firms perhaps being involved there as well. Is that would be correct, that they would be available for those kind of jobs?
No question. And again, I come back to some of the names I just give previous here, like again, modular fabrication, Sunny Corner, and groups like this. And Miramichiers, we've just come and had a nice announcement down there. TransCanada Pipeline was with us when we were down to the hall, the Union Hall down in the old Chatham Police Station Fire Department. And Rick Smith and George Eastie and that group of the local is ready to prepare and train our young guys that are out there doing that right now and get them the certification, whatever certifications needed. And we have that availability. We have the new addition that we put on the Miramichi Community College that I'm expecting that we have to go to the community college and say, folks, change your agenda, because we do have an industry coming here very shortly that we need to get our young Miramichiers trained to be part of this major industry, and that's the pipeline.
On the subject of resources, obviously forestry has been traditionally the major industry for the Miramichi. You just had a big announcement with the pellet plant. Is there more down the line if you guys get reelected? Is there a chance to grow this industry, maybe not necessarily to where it was once, but at least to open some more mills to get some more jobs going?
And yes, Darcy, it is, and people are looking our way because Miramichi tradition is forestry. You're right on, and we have people looking. And as the industry rebounds, and your other part you're right, Darcy, we won't have maybe the big paper mills up in the area that we had before, but we do have the resources. We do have the expertise, again, the folks, and you know, like our private woodlot owners. You know, I'll compare them to any province in this country, because we had to hear this, that we have good resources here, and we're going to have a period that in 10 years time, in 15 years time, our resources are going to be plentiful enough to establish whatever is needed at that time. And to say things, that announcement we had 2 weeks ago, I believe it was now, with the pellet plant, that gentleman was looking at the Miramichi for 8 years now, and I'm glad he stuck by us and everything, because we did have, the local Woodlot Owners Association had a great project in Vattenfall, and I spent many hours with them trying to develop that, and our local group was very successful. The corporation was looking at their direction. Then what happened, the major global corporation went in a different direction, sold off their energy supply line. So they didn't need to be a partner in the pellet process. That's why it didn't happen, and I'm so glad that Mr. Green was still wanting to develop it here. And when we put them puzzles together with Arbig and the pellet plant and sawmills and everything, we get things straightened out here. We all know that basket, and I mean a lot of people want to carry that basket. They will work together.
I gotta ask you this, and because it's obviously something that's on the mind of a lot of people, is the Miramichi lumber situation. Now, obviously, you can't talk about anything that's from the courts, but I know that you were heavily involved behind the scenes in trying to get the two sides to come to it. Is it disheartening to you that I guess that it's come to this?
No question. It is very disheartening that we had to come to this, and you're right. From day one, I was proud of my record, and I have to say that I think if you sat here and had Miramichi Lumber in this room and asked them the same question, that they would have to admit Robert Trevors was at the door every day with them from day one since 2010. The allotments that was available at the time didn't seem to be the issue at the time, and things like this. And some of we know it's not public knowledge, but it is public because they brought it out. Certain concerns that they had. I was able to maintain them an operating schedule for a couple years that maybe on a normal business practice I maybe shouldn't have. And what I'm trying to say is I want them to get an opportunity to be able to get their affairs straightened out. Is what I did for the last 3 years. And again, if Mr. Anderson and Mr. Raper were sitting in this room, I think they would agree that I have done major amount of work here to make sure that they can move forward that part of it.
Education, this has been a big topic this year, especially with what happened in Bailey and things. You've obviously announced a location for the new school on the west side of the city. We obviously need a lot more infrastructure. I think you would agree with that in terms of education. What's the plan moving forward? How strongly are you going to fight for a school on the other side? Any other education initiatives that you see if you're re-elected?
Darius, I'm real proud of that file, and I'm putting, I haven't got a platform to say this, but I do have acknowledgement from my government that they listen to us enough, that when we come and we looked at our financial state and education, that what we were capable to construct, that put in a new budget process was 1 K to 8 school in the province of New Brunswick in the Anglophone districts. And my colleagues realized that the infrastructure in the Miramichi has to be addressed, including Miramichi East's K to 5 project. It's a great project. It's a project that I won't have my name on a ballot again after this one if we're not using that school, or within 3 months using the school. And when I keep saying them words, what I'm trying to say, Robert Trevors won't be running and offering again if my government's elected and I'm elected with them, that if we're not using it. That's how strong a commitment I know that the Miramichi infrastructure has to be addressed. But I'm going to have to say this too. When we address that, we have to address the situation of having old buildings around here. We cannot have that. Buildings either have to be sold off and return the tax revenue to the people in New Brunswick, or demolition that they are attractive to a developer. So I'm trying to say 2 schools are going to happen here, because I started when we had the St. Michael's mold situation. We went down and I took local contractors, because sometimes we all say government works slow. Well, it was fairly close to us being elected, and I couldn't get the answers either, Darius. And so I know my parents were frustrated, so I took people down that do that type of work, and we looked at it, and we didn't scare everybody to death like at $750,000 or $1 million. We went in and realized that we could correct that problem, the mold situation. We could get rid of the water source coming in. Local contractors were able to go over and do that, and we achieved that in the vicinity of $140,000. Very proud that that was done under a time period that was to second to none, and we were real proud of how quick we done that. Ian Bailey come along, we had mold in the gym. We sit down with the parents, you know, because they're the folks that involved in them young children moving to other programs, and you know that affects the young folk. They were guaranteed, we were of course first as government, that they could control the mold and the air problems, because health had to be #1 priority, no question about it. They isolated it, they made sure it wasn't in the air. We monitored weekly, I believe it was weekly, yes it was, and made sure it was monitored, and left the students together, because that's what the parents thought we were the best situation for us to do. And I'm glad to say that the renovation's coming on great, and we are going to continue on, because we need a couple more years before we get another one built for it. Anyway, no matter if we had to start it this spring, we need to do something to the gym floor. and that is also being included in this renovation to get them back to this. So, but the only thing I just heard last week, and by the, that maybe the gym floor won't be done until the second week of school or something like that. They might be behind 2 weeks, but the renovations are done and ready to move back into the school and keep the group together and get prepared to find them be the next step in their new school.
Just a couple more things. One would be senior care. We know there's renovations going on at the Mount, new schools for new facilities in Upper Miramichi, for down Nickelback stuff. Where do you stand with regard to senior care, I guess, moving forward?
Well, as you're aware, it was probably approximately 2 months ago, we got our contract settled. Our contractor took the project of our 36 special care beds, which help us address the dementia and Alzheimer's situation. Very proud that contractor has got a very quick schedule, and that's budgeted things again. So having said that, that contractor has to be up in construction mode by early spring. So before the year 2015 is done, we're going to have 36 new beds to help assist our situation. And we do still have a problem with senior housing and beds. So I'm proud again. We're doing a good renovation over at the Mount. We're going to continue doing a renovation in the Mount, and sometimes I hear stories about paint and stuff like this. Well, I'm going to say it's going to be painted, and that story better not be rumored. That Mount is a great project. I got to make sure the Mount project is as safe as a regional hospital, multi-floor facility, any facility today. That's why we have to spend $8.2 million. That gives us an opportunity to be within the calendar year of the big structure of the senior program that was developed in 2008 by the previous government. They were going to spend $400 million, and we weren't going to get one new bed in the city of Miramichi. We come along, and we had to address that. We needed these 36 new beds to come online quicker. Plus, on the senior care home, we're back at the table again, and I will be front and center at the table when we develop our next plan for our phase 2, because that plan was from 2009 to 2015. The new plan will be developed in 15 from 16 on. We need to be at the table, and this province realized that we did not spend $48 million on not getting one new bed. We need that other $40 million back. We only spent 8 to correct that. We need to get 30 more beds to 60, whatever the need is here. And I'm going to be, I know we're going to be at the table. We won't be pushed to the bottom because someone said we got a new home. Well, a new home with no new beds was not addressing the problem of senior care.
And the last thing, I guess, is healthcare. Obviously, there's always an underlying fear in the Miramichi that we're going to lose our hospital. Now you guys put an MRI in there not long ago. There's still an issue with, I guess, family doctors not having enough access to them. You guys get 4 more years. What do you do to address that situation?
Well, first off, when you mentioned the place about the MRI, we got the opportunity to show the flagship, the hospital that the Miramichi Regional Hospital is. And coming and say that there's the other program that we have there is the Dalhousie University program that is run through here, that we have students over there. And I'm very proud to say that we upped a doctor this year, a graduate from that program. And I didn't get up and say it out because it is over budget. Well, not over budget because we needed it. And the reason I say I'm so proud of it is because that young doctor is from New Brunswick, a very good, from the Miramichi regional area, and I believe they'll be such a great asset to this community because we have a homegrown doctor moving in and being here for our staff. Again, I come back about our MRI. We have equipment over there to make us a unit here. There's got to be some. We got to be looking at our healthcare products, our coverage to be able to maintain it. We have 750,000 people, and when I get to that, we need to get these type of. I'm going back to Shell Gas here. I know we were talking health, but I need to get that revenue up and running here to be able to maintain the level that we have here and even better it. We're looking right now And they told me, Horizon, they're looking at the wait period. So if we can get another doctor at the MRI side of it, well, maybe, like we all agree we go to St. John for our heart, maybe Moncton for our cancer, and we have a lot of that. Well, I'm working right now that say St. John's got a 40-week wait period compared to our 16. Well, maybe some of the folks in St. John that don't need emergency ones maybe should be coming up to us and give us an opportunity that if we man our MRI even more, we'll be able to help relieve the rest of the province. Let's be part of this solution. That triangle is not right, it's a province here, and we do have that kind of strength. Just talking to the Premier the other day, his hospital, that new hospital, the newest one in the province, is run at like 74% of their hospital is because of our demographics, our seniors group. We go back again. Well, most patients are the elderly, group. The demographics warrant more of a healthcare coverage, So just the point on healthcare, very, very proud. When you go through, like, I bet you anytime you ever heard, if you didn't hear talking about the financial situation of this province 10 times a week, well, we know we did, and it is in that kind of shape. We need to make sure that we generate enough revenue ourselves, that we keep repairing healthcare, keep repairing our bridges and stuff like that. So we had to make some real tough decisions on pensions. You didn't bring it up, but I'm going to bring it up. We had to make them kind of that we know if we have to, revenues are not coming back like the old days, and if we need the revenue to help boost that, I need to have some $250 million extra next year to put in our bridge repairs like we're doing down here at the Centennial Bridge, just to make sure they're safe and in proper use for Joe citizen. And if I need $20 million added to healthcare next year, that's got to be where I can guarantee New Brunswickers we have to get it from, because little New Brunswick just can't control the global economic development of revenues changing overnight.
Well, listen, thank you. I'll give you the final word, I guess, if you want to talk to people and say why they should mark their ballot for you.
Well, the final word that I'd like to say is our logo is say yes. Say yes to development. I, as a parent, have a son-in-law that's on the West trip too. And I've got 2 beautiful granddaughters that I work very hard for to make sure all citizens are covered, but I'm a little selfish. I want them to stay in this river. And if I have the resource that 22,000 New Brunswickers are earning money at out west in Saskatchewan and Alberta, I've got to be responsible enough to develop it in a proper and safe manner to give them the opportunity that they can sleep in their own beds at night and do the same type of job. So that's why we're saying yes. Shale gas is a big issue, and it's a very strong issue that we can change this province around to be a have province at the best rate. And I don't want to say the word quickest because people say it'd be too quick. Well, I'm going to tell you folks, we've been discussing this here for the last 3.5 years at a very strong pace that we need to be moving forward. And time is today. We can't sit down and take moratoriums on sitting back and saying down the road we'll look at something. We don't have that time. Financially, we got to get this province up running again, getting the young people back home to help our seniors. And when I'm going door to door, my seniors are telling me that because they're scared what's going to happen in the next 5 and 10 year period, not 15 or 20 years down the road on our programs that we have and the great life we have here in this province. They know that the young people got to get back home here to help support that. But again, I just want to thank you for having me in here. Let me have my opportunity to talk about the issues.
Thank you for joining us.
Okay, thank you.